It's all you, Zach.
How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
This is our second monthly roundtable for the partners. Myself, Billy, and Robert will be your hosts, and we're going to cover a lot of things tonight. And we got a lot to go over, so we'll bring them in, and we'll go ahead and just jump right into it.
Sounds good. All they come.
We'll probably have some more people hop in here in a little bit. How's everybody doing tonight?
All right.
Good.
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Very good.
Okay, and you just want to tell everybody too is some people have their codes. Actually, they do. Partners have their codes here. Small Town 60, Python Jack 60, G Genesis 60. I don't know that Mutant Reptiles has theirs up yet, but when you put it, if you use that code, if you haven't got a try or haven't signed up yet, you'll get 60 days. So pick whichever one you think is the better looking one.
Pick your guy. Kevin's got one. Kevin's Mutant 60.
Mutant 60. So that's Kevin.
I think he's got the coolest one.
Yes.
Mutant 60.
The easiest to remember too.
Mutant 60.
Also, remember before we get started, click that subscribe button and the like button down there. That helps us out greatly.
What does it do for us?
So it helps the algorithm. Like Billy could probably tell you more about that stuff. You know, he's big on the YouTube, but
I'll bug him later.
More people like it, more people see it. The more people that see it, the more people watch it. You know, it all just it makes a huge difference.
Right. Excellent.
Viewership.
Not that we necessarily do these for likes or anything or views, but it's kind of just information out there for our users anytime they want to use it, and tons of really good information. If you're ever curious, go back and see some of the other partner videos. There's some amazing information out there. Really deep dives into a lot of the things that the software does.
All right. Well, so tonight we're going to cover the stuff that we've rolled out for our current system in the past month or so. We'll also go over some stuff that we're working on that will be rolling out in the future. Some of it will be the very, very near future. Some of it a little bit more on the horizons. And then second half of the show, we'll get into it and we'll talk to all the partners and take questions and stuff from the guests. And we'll do a little Q&A and get a little feedback from all of y'all.
Oh, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. I'm from Texas, okay?
Yes.
In case you didn't know.
Okay, what do you want me to jump on the change log first, Zach?
Yeah, go ahead, Robert. Start us off.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm just going to run over a couple of small changes that we've done. We haven't stopped developing Husbandry.Pro, the initial version, the version that everybody's using right now. So we haven't stopped. We're still doing upgrades. We're still doing any bug fixes and making small tweaks along the way. We've decided not to do any major changes to it because we're focusing on the next version of Husbandry.Pro now. So just to, you're going to see small upgrades. So let me just run over a couple of small upgrades. We've added a way when you do an import on your animals, if you're just onboarding, you can actually bring in the rack numbers with letters instead of numbers for the left side and the top. And I believe we're going to roll that out in the new version. You'll be able to do your racks AA and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then letters down the side. If that helps at all, I know some people were asking for that. So that's being beta tested right now in the old version. It will be in the new version going forward. Added buttons in a couple different places. They're not materialistically important, but add male at the top of the breeding plan. It's at the top instead of at the bottom by itself. We've also allowed you to filter out your genetics. So if you use, a dozen different genetics, there we go. Shane's going, me. Exactly. You can take that genetic list now. When you go to your animal settings, you would click on filter, and then you would change the setting on that to turn on the filters. You could then remove any of the genetics that you wouldn't normally use and filter your list down to the 15, 20, 30 genetics that you actually use in your collection. And then you can go back and turn it on if you want to use it later. So,
well, and a big one on that, a lot of people ask for this who work Exanthic. You know, if you only work one line of Exanthic and you're going through there, every time you try to go to put in an Exanthic, you see all these different Exanthics pop up in there, and you got to scroll through it to find your VPI because V is last. And, you know, we're all working VPI, right?
Yeah, hypo.
Who wants to work
What
that?
the hell is a 210 hypo?
You can, it's hidden. Go hide it, Billy. You can hide it now. Just go in there.
No, I definitely.
Never
Because
see
as soon as I go
VPI.
hypo, which I have a lot of, I've got to scroll through all this 210 hypo thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, scroll. There's hypo. Like,
Yeah,
but
so-
I like that feature.
That's
Get
the
rid of it all.
genetic I tested whenever I was testing that. I was like, let me make sure 210 hypos go away.
It's good. Little tweaks like that make a huge difference, especially even if it's a second, right? You do that, you know, for me, we're on it pretty much, you know, 5 hours a day or more. And, you know, a second here, second there. I mean, it could add up to an hour a week.
and we had that.
But it's,
Yeah, we've had that discussion a few times too, Billy. I know that I think on other sites you type in the word het first if you're trying to do piebald, right?
Right.
So in my brain as a programmer, that doesn't make sense because once you type in HET space, you then have het of all the genetics. However, so you're still going through the list. But if you type in piebald, PIE, then you're only going to have 3 selections, right? Or 2 selections or 4 selections, right? So instead of, you know, 20 selections. So for me, it's always, you know, what makes most sense. For me, it's, you know, you type in hypo, it pulls up all the hypos. If you type in hypo, it even pulls up the 210. Yeah, because it's a global search, right?
yes.
And it pops it on the top. Right. But still, that still makes more sense to me than it does going the other way, right? Going the hets and stuff like
I mean,
that.
it gets, you know, you get used to it because sometimes I'll go in there and I'll put in het something because I'm just so used to writing het. And
Right.
it's like, hey,
Right.
no, nothing comes up, or Hatari or something. It's like, nope, go back and then put in clown or whatever the recessive is. And then I choose one of the 3 or 4, you know,
Right.
choices.
Exactly.
It's just it's just what you get used to. All the other systems do it.
Yeah.
Is there a chance of combining these Axanthics down to the small amount that we're getting down to?
I don't. Once somebody has that gene, or once that gene is kind of known in the industry, it's there, right? So we're going to have it in the system. So we're not going to trim down our lists at all. But with that filtering, you can do that all yourself, right? Just turn on the ones that you want on. Right?
Yeah, it's like they've proven now that that TSK and Black Axanthic are the same. MJ, GCR are the same.
I know. See, exactly. So you, from your perspective and from Charlie's perspective and all those other people's perspective, they are going to want it combined. For somebody that's been working Joe Liff hard forever is not going to want to have that changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So until there's, and you know what, who's the one that makes that decision, right? That Joe Liff is now something else, right? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Right.
Even
So-
the Black Axanthic people, the people that bought into the Black Axanthic project, they don't want to change it now to TSK because they paid that extra dollar value on that Black Axanthic.
And I think no matter how much you prove it, I think people are still going to sit back and go butter lesser. You know what I mean? Discussion's always going to be there.
Some people are going to just say it's butter or it's lesser.
Exactly.
They're going to have that,
People will
that
fight you on it.
distinction.
Like that's the thing is like people will fight you. Like no, there is a difference. I've got butter. This is not lesser. And as long as people are willing to fight you on it, it's different. It's a line that's been worked, selectively bred. Possibly,
I see it with banana and coral glow all the time.
Yeah, we're never going to take the genetics back away from somebody.
Exactly. And then that falls right into this whole 210 discussion. Somebody's got some 210 hypos in their collection. Right?
I think whoever named that did that just so they're always on the top of a list since it's numbered. I think they did it on purpose.
I'm going to make mine 001.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Okay. So any questions on any of that before I move on to the rest of this list? There's not much else. No, just some export changes, the way you export data. When you do activities now, there is another option that you can do on activities. Added activity reminder in animal record action. So when you do a activity, you can actually set your reminder within the activity setting the first time, right? Not just, I think we did it on pairings before.
Pairings, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we had it on pairings before. We've made it kind of global for any task that you may do, right? So you can just add a thing on there.
I found really good use for that on administering medicine, like Nate's that I've got that need a metronidazole every 7 days. You know, when I go in and I do the first one, I set it to reoccur 2 times every 7 days. And so I bing, bing, bing. So, because that gets crazy to keep up with some of that stuff sometimes.
And you know what? That now that you bring up that point, and that kind of reminds me, we want to kind of redo a lot of the medication system in the new platform. I just need to find a vet to talk to about it.
We got one in here.
I know.
We could probably
Just
chat
gotta
a
go that
couple
way,
of them.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I will be sending messages after this.
Definitely.
Just to get with you on that. That would be fantastic. I think that's all I've got for the updates, Zach.
You know, she's not our only veterinarian, right?
No, I know. There's 2
over there.
Yep. There's 2.
The other way.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That way. Right. Difficult. Right. Exactly. So, and there's probably others too. So, are there any other partners that are vets? No, just Genetic Genesis and
Not me.
Josh and Alicia. Right. No,
Not
that's
me.
okay. Some of us pretend to be, but okay.
Hey, Kevin just told me about you being a veterinarian. I had no clue you were a veterinarian. I just found out in Daytona.
Alicia?
No, I knew Alicia was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't know he was a veterinarian.
Well,
Jordan,
Scott's not. Jordan is.
Jordan
Right. Exactly. Okay. So that's it, I think, for any of the small updates that we've done over the last little while. We are working on 2 other updates. One will push tomorrow that Zach will show you now, and then another one will push probably next week after we have a final discussion with Charlie. So Go ahead, Zach.
And we still got one thing that I know we're working on for the old system that should be rolling out soon, and I'll drop that one real quick, is subscribe to your favorite stores. So I should have that out hopefully in the next day or 2. And so if you go to Billy's store and you want to subscribe, anytime Billy adds new animals to his store, you're going to get an email with a list of all those animals he adds with links to take you back there and view it.
That's cool.
That's a nice little addition.
Yeah. So I think we're about done with that. I'm just doing a little last minute testing. That'll hopefully be this week.
Well, if you follow my story, you're going to be disappointed because I've been slacking for months. Where the fuck's this email from Billy? I don't get one. I don't think it's working. Oh, yeah, it's working. Just Billy ain't working. So,
but then when you do get that email, it's going to be like 113.
Yeah. Eventually, when I do it, I go hard. So it's getting. I'm going to start doing. I'm trying to get it on a regular basis, so I don't have, that hill to look at and go, man, I got to climb that thing. I want to do little hurdles.
Here's a question.
I get it. I stare at my data entry day and I'm like, okay, here's one clutch. Well, I got these other clutches coming like tomorrow and the next day. I'm going to wait and put in like 4 at once instead of having to do it like 6 different times. And then next thing you know, it's like now it's 10 clutches are waiting to go in.
So here's a question for you guys. How would you want notifications? If you're getting notifications, do you want them via email, SMS, or just push notifications? Or do you want the option of
everything? Yeah, option that you can choose.
Options, I think, would be best because everyone's gonna our customers, the people that are subscribing, are gonna want different ways of getting those notifications.
So I wonder if we should ask them to put in a phone number and it could SMS you too, because we can do that. If you put in your SMS phone number, your mobile number, we can actually just make a form for the user so they don't get your number. Right? They could type in the text message, hit send, it goes to you, but then when you reply, they get your number. Right? So there's that.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Kevin?
So there's that. So there's that too, right? So like with SMS, there's a little bit of, but I guess if you're trying to sell them an animal, you don't care about giving them their phone number, right?
I know.
Any customer has my phone number, so
right, exactly. Okay, so we'll look at putting all 3 options in instead of just an email. I know a lot of people do. We're trying not to use email for the company actually going forward, but so we know email's kind of dying out.
Yeah, because now they just get a little pop up and it asks for the email. You just add a little filler for the text message, or approval for in-app notifications. Can we just do that through the Husbandry.Pro app?
Yeah, like they're in the once you have your push notifications set up, it will do in-app notifications, right? Automatically. So we'll find other ways to send you. Oh, we'll find the other. We'll add the other 2 ways to send instead of just email.
Right.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
I better write that down, right? Okay, you're up again, Zach.
Yeah, because
right.
this is going to be a way for notifications because other people don't necessarily have to already be a user of the software for it to work.
Right. They would just send you the message. You would then receive it the way you want. So we're just kind of deciding, do you want to receive it SMS, email, or push notification, or all 3? Because I think we do that with regular notifications from the platform. You can set it up to do all 3, right? So we can just flow that through to that notification too.
All right.
Oh, go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. We'll do a bunch of questions and stuff towards the end. I want to run through a few more things that we've got on the horizon real quick, and then we'll go through a bunch of that stuff. But the first thing, I know people have been waiting on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to throw it there. Boom.
Well, it's so hard to
Oh,
see.
wow.
Let's see, what the world am I looking at?
There we go. All right. We got to make it super jumbo so everybody can see it.
Oh, testing. Yeah.
Let me try.
There we go.
Hold on, Charlie, take a bow. Charlie should be there too.
There we go. He's in the audience. I seen him in there a second ago.
I did.
Hopefully he's still watching. So this is our testing page that we've got right now. We will have this out hopefully by next week. They're just doing some final little renditions and some minor tweaks on the internal part of this, but this part's pretty much done. And you can come down here and you can purchase anonymously. If you don't want to
Zach, let me just pop in here. Purchase anonymously won't be available right at launch. That will be available shortly after launch because the only way to do something anonymously is either to pay by credits or crypto. We are adding crypto payments. So you'll be able to pay by crypto and then it can be completely anonymous if somebody really wants to. Continue on to Zach.
Okay. So you go and purchase shed testing, or you can log in to purchase. I'm going to go ahead and log in just for the sake of example. Most of us will be logging in the beginning.
Hit that eyeball for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like James is.
Hey, and just so y'all know why this isn't out yet.
Because of bugs like that.
Not yet.
So just log into the platform, Zach. Just log in regularly. So remove go to login, and then go to that page, and it'll show you properly, right? It took you. So that link
my
is
screen out while I redo my password and stuff.
exactly. So what'll happen? So I'll explain it actually. So that page is actually the public page. So there's 2 different ways to order shed testing. That's the public page. You don't have to be a user of Husbandry.Pro. You don't have to be logged in. You can type in, your code and the shed and put in all your information and pay that way. So that's the one way. And the other way is internally, but Zach's showing the external. And the reason we're just a little bit slow right now is that with all the components that have to happen with, creating QR codes for Charlie to do his end of things and keep everything, totally on board and working properly, we need a lot of checks and balances along the way. So we worked with Charlie to get these things done that will allow us to flow these things quite easily back and forth between the 2 companies.
So can I ask why the anonymous concept when it comes to ordering the testing?
Because it's just an option, right? Because there are people out there that don't want us to know what they're testing, don't want whoever's, doing the test to know what they're testing. So we're going to give the option to do anonymously. So it's not a huge... It's just an added feature. Again, we're just going that extra step to give another option.
But if someone's going to send it anonymously, I guess they got to send the sheds in.
Yep.
You don't get anything sent back just to a certain email or...
No, because that wouldn't be anonymous. You'll get a code to come back to that page and type it in, and you'll get your result.
You'll have their mailing address, though.
Not if you don't put it on the package.
I guess we don't put a return.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you log in, if you click that login button, it'll pull up to this screen right here. and you can go through and type in your animals, and it'll pull up your list of animals there.
Oh, cool.
Hold on, let me.
Oh, nice! It'll pull up the list of our animals that are already in the system.
That's cool. Instead of typing
That's
it
really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it pulls that up, and you can see here it popped up the genetics that I have put in there.
No way. So it
if you
actually
want-
extracts the genetics from the animal?
Yes.
So
If you
sick.
want to send this information in with the sheds, so you can send it to Charlie as like, hey, this is what the animal possibly has, you can, and you just check the box. Or you can send it in without the genetics if you don't want to, if you don't, we're all about giving you the option. If you want to send your information, send your information. You don't want it, you're secretive, you want to keep it to yourself, keep it to yourself.
Since this is still in development, can we get a check all button?
Yeah, we'll get a check all button.
Because if there's,
that makes
there's some
sense.
animals where you've got like 10 things on there, right? And
Well, no, not everybody does there, Kevin. Come on. I'm only hitting 8 or 9. We can't all be big willies like you.
I was going to say yours are like 20, Billy, so shut up.
I'm the anonymous guy. Shh.
And then you go through and you do your payment.
This is awesome.
But so that's what I wanted to, that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting.
Yeah, so after you check out on that, you will get the instructions emailed to you. You'll have an instruction on the final page after payment to download, print out your QR codes, the instructions on how Charlie needs it. That'll all be there and ready to go. So, but keep in mind, that's the way you do it if you are externally. If you want to just go to that testing page, you can do it there. But you can also do it another way, Zach.
Yes. Okay, that's not all you get.
Quick question, though. Let me throw a wrench in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Canadian, and unfortunately, I can't use the amazing services of Charlie.
Yep.
So will that recognize it automatically if I'm a Canadian location, or how is that? Because you don't want to have people doing this. And
so here's the thing. I'm not going to police it. I think we need to put a name. I think we need to put some kind of disclaimer notice on there. Just because if I'm in the States and I have some of my animals in the States, right? There's no reason why I can't shed test those just because I have a Canadian account.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. No, it makes sense because I'm sort of in that boat as well, right? So
a lot of us have stuff in other places. So
you should put a verification on there, Robert, for us to click and say I'm not
shipping them over.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that we're gonna police that. That's gonna be. I mean, our general stance is that we facilitate transactions with our platform, and we don't necessarily police them.
We're a software company first.
Yeah,
is really what we are.
Okay,
right. So it's not up to us. It's true. And fact of the matter is, I saw somebody post publicly the other day that they did it, and it's like you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Send it across things. People are doing it. We don't want it to happen, but again, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
Right. It's not on us. I don't know
us, and then that can possibly create liability. It's
who is that? Yeah, who is that for? Like Charlie may, you know what? We're going to talk to Charlie about it. He may want specifically us to put a checkbox on there that says it's not coming from out of country. Right? Because Charlie's got the other end of that.
Yeah, I don't think he's got anything on his website for that now. So
right.
But he just assumes that people.
Yeah. I'll have a chat with Charlie and we'll decide if we need to put any.
It's like I've done shed testing through like RGI, and they actually have things on there to make sure that people know that if you're from outside of the U.S., that it's on that person to follow the laws to get things imported in. So I think that's important that you should still have something there. Just so.
Yeah, we could pop up on any country other than the U.S. Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Zach. Show them the other cool thing.
So, in the system, you're a user. You set up a new clutch, or you're just scrolling through the system, and Charlie added a new test. All of a sudden, you see this nice little flashing green dot over here on your animals, on your genetics. Like, what? What's this new? He didn't have piebald before. He had piebald. We're pretending he didn't. Boom, there it is. Okay, do you want to include your known genetics? Sure. We're gonna add a check off for Kevin.
So you just click the actual POS head with the flashing green?
Yeah. And you go in here. We're still working on this. Got some instructions to add up here. but we're almost done with this. This would be where you could add another animal, start typing in, same thing like before.
And will that kind of build like a cart to where if you're going through multiple animals before you actually do an actual purchase? Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I've already got this one down here in my cart because I clicked that I wanted to order that. Now I want to add another one. I just put it in here, select the animal.
Select the type. Yeah. No, you're adding. So select your type.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And the other thing is this takes a feed. This takes a feed directly from Charlie's website for all the. So when Charlie adds a new one, we get an update, a half hour later. So we pull every 30 minutes his information. So we always have his latest tests, and we always have the same pricing that Charlie has, right? So ordering through our system, ordering, through Charlie, it's kind of the same. This just makes it easy for you, right? And to get it tagged back to that animal once the information comes back from Charlie.
I like it. I like it a lot.
But yeah, you are able to go straight to your payment screen from here. You click the little flashy button. If that's the one animal you want to test, click the flashy button, go here, process payment, boom, you're done. You print out a little page, slap it in the thing. Basically your normal process you did before.
Are you going to come
and process the payment based off from what our payment method is already in the system?
No, we don't store information, so you're going to have to put it in each time. Okay. Right, we don't store credit card information.
See where it offers you. You can go currently. You can do PayPal or credit card, and that takes you to the credit card. I can go click on that one.
Yeah, click on that one and show us what your credit card numbers are.
Oh, and then it'll just take you to like the Stripe page.
It takes you here.
Yep, takes you to the.
And if you've used Stripe before and you do have your credit card registered with your email address, you can actually type in your email address there. And Stripe will pull up all that information, just like the Shopify checkout.
Okay. Or if you've got it, if you've got it in your iPhone, if you got it in your Google, you know how it goes. You click there, it pops up. I'm not going to click there because you're going to see all my stuff.
Or the company credit card. Don't do that.
Wants to go
all right now.
This is
I do have a question on this.
Yes.
Is there a way to have it to where like certain people that have like sponsor codes through Charlie? Like to get discounts, like I have a code Carpet15 to get 15% off of your order. Is there a place there to put that code in during that checkout?
So no, and I'll talk to Charlie about that to see, because we have to figure something out. Just because at the end of the day, right, it's a transaction that we are making money on, right? We want all current relationships with Charlie to stay with Charlie. However, this will make your life much easier. So let's talk to Charlie and figure out how we can make something like that work. Absolutely. Right.
I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. There's got to be something to figure out that way, whether it be, credits that we can get, you to punch in that you've already purchased from Charlie or something like that. We'll figure something out to help out people that pay Charlie directly, but still use our system, right?
Yeah, because that's the thing too. If say I'm a user of your 15, I use your discount code, and but I can't go through Husbandry.Pro. For me to make my life easier, I can just go click. For me, I'd rather pay the extra 15% to have my life and thing more easier.
Right, right, yeah, and we'll depending on how many people ask for it. And we'll talk to Charlie about it and see what we can do. Absolutely. Sure. You know what? If we can make your life easier to keep it all within the platform to make your life easier and it doesn't hurt Charlie or I, absolutely. We have no problem with that, I'm sure.
So Charlie commented to you,
there
Robert.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
He said he wants people to be able to do it. So you guys can.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
For sure. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was the biggest one. Hopefully we'll be dropped. Hopefully by the end of next week. So let me see what I had.
I'm not allowed to give dates anymore, by the way.
Zach see us.
Good boy, Zach. Keep him in line.
Soon. I'm allowed to say soon.
Yes. So I think Robert already kind of briefly touched on Husbandry.Pro Next. That was on my thing to talk about. We're still working on that. We brought some new developers on board, I believe last week, who started this week. To help us get that, brought up to speed and pushed out. We're still shooting for about a couple months from now to have at least all of our partners in there testing, and we may take some other people in for beta testing on it before we drop it. We want to make sure it's, super smooth, super ready before we drop it to the general public.
Right. Partners will get first access, and it will be, use as much as you want, and we'll take feedback, and we'll start to do some of these things not online, right, and just talk about it, because we really need all the feedback we can get, on the new system as we do it. So as soon as we can open it up for other eyes, we will.
All right. So next thing I want to talk about, and this should be rolling out in the next day or two. This should be out for the end of the week. And I can pretty much just say before the end of the week, right, Robert? On
as far as I know, it's done.
Okay. He's guessing what I'm talking about next.
Well, I think, I knew what you were talking about.
All right. So here's our offers page. We showed this last month. So I'm not going to dwell on it too long. Oh, so I'm clicking on the wrong screen. Okay, there we go. So we got your hats on there. We got shirts on there. We may build that out with some more stuff as we go along. We are still always looking for people to partner with to provide products to all of our customers. We're always looking for people who are in the industry and share similar value that, we can stand behind with good product to offer our customer stuff at a discount. So this page will progress as we come online with more stuff. This offers page will be where you find the website offering, which we talked about last time. That we are going through the final processes on the website stuff. We're going to, it'll be stuck down here on the bottom. When we get new offers, we'll fill this page out as other stuff comes online that we're able to offer more services to help everyone out. And
it's just some value added stuff for our users to use, because we can get shirts for $10, we might as well pass that on to everybody, or as low as $7 on some of that stuff. So
yeah. We've got some shirts on there as low as $7.35 a piece.
Yeah, and that's silk screened, and they're actually done in the U.S. It's our partner in the U.S. just does it. I think Shane had some done from him. He was great, right?
Great, yeah, great quality, great service, fast. Yeah. I mean, it was a smooth transaction. I loved it.
And that's where we do all our shirts for the U.S. when we go to the shows. So might as well offer that, from them through us, right? Get it all done.
Yeah,
so anytime we can do stuff like that
for myself. So
anytime we can do that kind of stuff, we're gonna try to help out our users. Right? Any value added.
Same thing for the hats, and and I priced a lot of this stuff. It's definitely cheaper than.
If I wore hats, I might.
They're not. You don't need 100, do you?
Like this brand, other places that you would typically go to have some quantities of this stuff made. So it is.
What the best part of hats is? You need one size.
Yes.
Well, 12 sizes.
Sort of. Yeah, exactly. Sort of. I've seen some pretty big melons.
Sure. I mean, not everybody can wear your hat. Fine.
Exactly.
But one size.
Most can.
90%.
Most can. Exactly.
So on the website development, talk about that just a little bit more real quick. We are still, we're working through a couple more sites with a couple more people, and we're ironing out the process. We can go ahead and drop the price, right? Or we can.
Yeah. So the price is going to be $9.99. It's going to be $1,000 for a WordPress site. That's a custom site, plugins installed, everything else, basically your look and feel. And we work with you to get what you want. It's a full e-commerce site hooked up to your Square or Stripe or PayPal. Some people use some other stuff too, but it's a lengthy process. It's going to take probably anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks to get a store online from beginning to end. But if that's something that you want, we'll be offering those. You'll be able to sign up and kind of get in a queue. And I'm not allowed to say when. Soon. Right, Zach?
Soon. Be watching for that soon. We just got a couple more to knock out, and we're ironing out the process. But we've got the price. It's going to go down on the offers page as soon as it's ready, and we're ready to offer it. And then we'll queue you up for it. It's not a plug and play real quick. We're going to throw something together for you in 15 minutes. You're getting a professionally built, fully custom website with that. So just, bear in mind that does take some time, but that's something we are going to offer for you and at a really decent value for.
Did a great job on Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have hosting too, right, Robert?
Yeah, we do the hosting too. If you have a commercial account, it's included. If you don't have a commercial account, it's going to be, actually I haven't got the pricing, should be around $20 to $30 somewhere in there a month.
And those of us that have a pre-existing website, we can like plug in the store feature. I know that was brought up before.
Yeah. So do you have a WordPress site now?
I don't know. Chris Eaton did the whole thing. I don't know what it's on Squarespace. That's what I know.
Oh, no. So that'll be a Squarespace site. So we did have the Shopify plugin done, but they don't allow live animal sales anymore. So we pulled the plug on that. So we're not going to make any plugins for third parties. So for WordPress, or sorry, for Squarespace, we won't do it for Wix. We won't do it for, and Shopify, just because they could pull the plug on it at any time. And then we've wasted all that development time. So you do have to have, currently we have WordPress and OpenCart plugins. Those are the two right now. We're toying with the idea of getting a Facebook plugin done that can push products to your, so if you use the system to have products, to push products onto your Facebook product page, but that's still up in the air. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
Okay, but for now, if you have WordPress, you can just plug in the plugins, no charge. You set it up with a little key. Our developers can give you advice on how to set it up. We won't do it for you, but we can always help you with the support on that.
And we'll have at least 3 good completed websites by the time we offer it publicly from the Husbandry.Pro site and everything, so y'all can look and see what we've done, what we're capable of, and so you know what you're getting.
Yep. Yeah, properroyals.com is one you can see.
Or a yearly fee to it?
No, so there's the $9.99, and then monthly we'll have just like a hosting fee, and I'm not entirely sure how much the hosting fee is, but it'll be comparable or less. I think somebody else had said
20 to 30. It's less.
Somewhere in $20 to $30 a month, which is
it's cheap,
right?
Yeah.
But if you have a commercial account, it's going to be nothing. So really, then you got to decide, do I want to just upgrade to a commercial account?
Yeah.
Right. It may be the way to go, and then you don't have to worry about it. Right. Exactly. So. There's a couple commercial accounts in here now.
Did we answer this question that Jason posted?
Who's responsible for security passionate? We do that. We will hand it's managed if it's on our servers. If you use our plugin, it's all on you guys. We will manage our own plugin. But as far as the site is concerned, if you are a customer of ours and we build it and you host it with it, so there's 2 components, right? We will build it and give it to you, and then you're on your own from that point forward. Or if we host it, then we will manage it and make sure that all the plugins and everything are upgraded all the time. Because we know WordPress.
But you guys would handle all the security and everything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way on our servers, because if one person leaves something, their WordPress site 7 versions ago, right? Huge holes in it. We don't need that flopping around on our servers, right?
Right.
So we'll make sure we keep those clean and up to date. For sure. Zacho.
Christy needs beanies.
Christy,
I'm with her. We're getting out of summertime. It's coming. We need to get some beanies up there. I'm going to route anybody with me on this.
I'm sure you know who to ask for, Christy. Ask Tara for that.
Yeah, I was going to say she made us some, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tara did some for them, so.
Well, you guys already do the hats, so can't you just do the beanies?
We do beanies, but it's. I don't know why he's pointing that way.
Oh, that's you. You're over here on my screen. Is he not over here?
No. He's over here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, beanies aren't something that beanies. Yeah, I don't know if we want. We'll get beanies out. Are we out of bucket hats at the show? Go to a show and pick up some free swag. Come see us at a show. How about that?
We don't have any beanies though.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's a good question. Ecto.
Yeah. When will custom merch be available? Which custom merch? Well, that's so the stuff you want to order. The offers page is available as soon as Zach does one more test tomorrow, probably, right, Zach? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
24
to 48 hours.
24 to 48 hours. Yeah. Okay. Where are we at, Zach?
Okay. All right. Let's see what else I got. All right. Last thing I want to talk about before we just open it up for some Q&A and do what everyone else wants to talk about. Shows. Want to recap on Daytona a little bit. I know
I wasn't there.
Quite a few of y'all were there. Who all was there? I was there.
I was there.
Yeah, Billy, put your hand down.
Yeah.
I
Billy and I were
I saw Austin out there.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
you were half there,
Yep.
I guess.
Yep. I hung out with Austin a little bit. He's trying to get me to go herping, and I'm like, I'm old and it's hot and humid. I'm gonna sit over here and have a couple drinks.
Yeah, that was a rough night. We got back to the hotel at like 6:30. Enough time to shower, go to the show.
Oh, I saw him. I went to bed at a very reasonable, responsible 2:30 in the morning. And as I'm looking out my hotel window, I see people out there with a flashlight in the ocean, like just looking down at the water, doing crazy stuff. And I'm like, why do I feel like that's Austin? And it was Austin. They were trying to catch fish with their hands.
No, we weren't trying. We caught fish.
Oh, sorry, they were catching fish with their hands. Dave Levinson was out there with like one of those like headlight things on, like a red light, and he was trying to catch sharks and stuff. And it was.
I got a pretty good video of that.
Billy, you need to sit Austin down and have him watch Jaws again.
Oh, that's why I'm not going. They're like, you want to come do this? He told me, he's like, hey, we're going to go out there and try to catch sharks with our hands. You in on this? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
That Daytona is
we had
crazy,
to catch the fish with our hands, so we had bait for the hook to catch the shark.
Good time.
So we had a fishing rod to catch the shark.
I think for this, you have to be a current subscriber, correct?
You have to be, you know what? It's supposed to be, yes.
Yeah, offers for our members, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, you don't have to be logged in, though.
You can get a 60-day trial.
You know? So yeah, kind of the link for that will only be within the platform. So even if you have a free account, you're good. Right? So free account, up to 5 animals, you'll be able to order.
Hey,
Okay.
if we got somebody who's willing to set up an account and everything just to use that to order some custom shirts,
there you go.
We got you. Yeah, Daytona was really good. I think Kevin was there working the booth with me, and Jesse, who can never make it on these things because he lives in Timbuktu with no internet. I felt like we represented good. I know Kevin talked to a lot of people. I got to talk to some great people from more countries than any other show I've ever been to, which was crazy. Who'd you talk? What all countries do you remember talking to people from, Kevin?
Country-wise, it was mainly not country. What is it? Territory, Puerto Rico. There was a lot of people from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I talked to several people from Puerto Rico.
There was probably a dozen that I talked to, and they knew each other, but they weren't there together. They were different groups. So there was quite a few.
The people I talked to from Australia.
I was going to say that guy that we met from Australia. Was it Australia, or where was that guy that?
No, that was a different. Oh, I forgot about him. That was a different guy. The guy we talked to at the bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he wanted to set up his preserve or whatever.
So I'm going to answer this one. I hope you've joined the Facebook group. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. If you have any questions, and you know what, I bet you if you just said, you know what, I would love 20 minutes of somebody's time, somebody will definitely offer to jump on a call with you and just walk you through a few of the quick things. Alicia Harvin, she said she'd be happy to. So just post in the group chat there in Facebook that you'd love a little introductory, and somebody will hop on something like this with you for sure.
And Robert, I know Chris, all he's got to do is just reach out to me. He's like 40 minutes away. Yeah. He's just being a pain.
If I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm a moron when it comes to computers. It's doable. It just takes a little bit of just getting used to, and then all of a sudden you can't live without it. So if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. You can see how long it took me to get my video feed when we first came on, because Josh isn't here. I can't work a computer, and I can do HP. So
hey, Kevin and I, we got him lined up today or the day before, like on the face recognition to log in. I'm like, he starts asking me, and I'm like, did you just mention iPhone and me in the same place?
Did it work?
Like, who do I know? And I'm like, Kevin, I've seen him do his facial recognition stuff.
Did it work, Zach?
He says it's working, but he said we'll find out in 30 days, but asks him we can log in again.
Well, it won't pop up. It won't pop up the face recognition thing if it's not using that. So like it literally pops up when you open the app, so you can tell it's working.
I don't know. He was telling me that like the face thing was working, but every 30 days he was still having to manually log in his password.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to put my password in again.
See, I know there's something about our app, there's something about our app that doesn't, like it won't autofill. Like it will not auto save my password or my username. So I feel what he's talking about. Like if you're logging in, you have to manually log in, type out every letter of your email address and your password every time.
Yeah, but just turn on biometrics, right?
Yeah.
And you're in every time, instantly.
Yeah, but if I turn on biometrics,
that's how I log into everything. I don't know any of my passwords for any platform.
What's like
everything's on my face?
Yeah. Like I don't know anything either. Even my computer now pops up with, type in a PIN and that's it, right? Everything logs in automatically. So
right.
It's a beautiful place to be.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got the PIN thing on my computer, but I didn't know like the biometrics. Every time I try to turn that on, like when I mess with it, it wants to lock my whole phone, and I'm like the least secure guy in the world. My phone locked.
No, you need it to be. Yeah, you need it to be turned on for your phone to use it for sure.
You need to have your phone locking. So you need to have biometrics on your phone. So when your phone goes into hibernate, you have to biometric back in.
Oh.
But now Android and iOS both have facial recognition. So you just pick up the phone and look at it, and it sends you right in. Right. So you don't have to mess around.
At least on iPhone, you can set up multiple facial recognitions. So if your partner,
you probably can on Android too. I just know it does my face. So
yeah. So like, the kids' phones, for instance,
unlock
to my face. So I don't have to know what their stupid passwords are.
Wait, so I can set my daughter's phone to unlock with my face. So I'm not having to. What is your password?
Absolutely. So you don't have. Yeah. Yes, that is one of the first thing I did.
Last thing I have to talk about is our next show, our last show of the year for Husbandry.Pro for a big setup, and that'll be Tinley, which is coming up in October. October the 12th and 13th. Yes,
12th and 13th. Yep.
But we'll be there. We'll be there for VIP Friday. We'll be set up. We'll be set up first thing Friday, so we'll be there all day talking Husbandry.Pro, passing out swag. Hopefully, we'll have some new shirts that people haven't seen before, or at least slightly different than anything we've had before. Me and Tara are working on it.
Right.
Slightly different, maybe like pumpkin orange. I'm pulling for pumpkin orange. Who wants pumpkin orange?
I like pumpkin orange.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the orange. Okay.
Yes, pumpkin orange. Because our last one was kind of like an off orange, but I like the loud orange. Like I like it. It's nice.
I don't know. I like that burnt orange. That burnt orange is nice.
Well, there's like 4 oranges. Yeah.
Yeah, like the background color of the screen right now is a good color.
Right.
Yeah, I do like that. That is one of my good shirts too.
Yeah, that's a good color.
But hey, they're all limited edition. You got to come see us at these things to get one of the swag shirts. I mean, if we got a new shirt and you ain't got it, well, I mean, I don't know where you're at.
Like Billy's new hoodie. That hoodie's awesome.
We shouldn't even get to talk about the hoodie. That's a sore subject. I was told that I can't get a hoodie, Billy, and you got a hoodie.
There's like 2 in existence.
Dude, I've been telling this guy that not to make me a hoodie for like 2 years, and he's made me a couple hoodies. I'm like, I never wear hoodies. And now I'm like,
and then he asked for this one. I said no.
He's like, no. I'm like,
I said no. You don't wear hoodies. Okay, so what else? What do we got still, Zach?
That was it. I had to talk about Chicago, Daytona coming up, getting ready for that. So, just come out and see us there. And we're going to talk and see what these guys want to talk about and take some Q&A from our partners and the guests.
Sounds good. So let's start with partners first. Any questions for us at all?
I got a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, so first of all, I think I use Husbandry.Pro different from y'all because I don't have any ball pythons. Sorry about that.
I have a few, but not a lot.
I use it mainly for like locality colubrids and hognose and leopard geckos and African fat tails, and I've had a couple cresteds in there. I don't know if y'all know, but a lot of leopard gecko people are very anal about genetics, and a lot of crested people are very anal about pictures of their parents and lineage and all that stuff. Are we ever going to get so when I enter my leopard geckos in there, I have to manually do the genetics in there. Are you going to ever get genetics for like leopard geckos? Like, so like if I type in albino, the 3 strains albino are going to pop up, or like if I type in albino, then it's going to be like het rainwater 66%, like it does with the hognose.
Are we current with what Morph Market has right now?
I'm assuming that the genetics tables for the leopard geckos are fine. I'm looking at it now, and there's tons of we have a lot of. Are the genetics incorrect for leopard geckos? Because
so like when I type in albino, like it doesn't work the same for like hognose, at least on my screen. So like when I type in albino, the 3 strains albino doesn't pop up on my on mine, and maybe
Are you
I'm
currently
wrong.
using a custom set of genetics?
Well, the regular ones still should show up.
Regular ones should show up. That's what he's saying. Like,
right?
Let me.
No, but if he's made a custom animal, then they won't be in the right table.
Right, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not a custom.
No, but you can make custom animals. You can say, "Hey, I've made leopard geckos."
Yeah, so it would be custom. So I would have to go in and do a custom animal.
No,
I don't. You don't have to.
So let me show you here. Let me pop over to the screen. Is that the right screen?
Yeah, you're right. So I did do it that way.
Right. So if you use the default leopard geckos, you probably have a custom animal. You probably have a custom. You probably made leopard gecko animal, or did you use it when it was in the system? Like you came and you turned it on.
No, I did not turn it on. I went up. I went up to the top where it said "make a custom animal," because it wasn't in that screen. Oh, I'm pointing with my cursor, like you can see it.
Right. Yeah, no problem. So let me explain. So what happened was when you logged in, when you made the leopard gecko animal, you should have actually first turned on whichever species of animals you're going to use. So you would come to your settings for your animals, and you would turn on leopard gecko here. Once that leopard gecko animal is there, when you go to add that animal, so we're going to go and we're going to add leopard gecko. So now when you go to your genetics, I can start typing in albino.
All right.
And it's going to bring them all.
There's rainwater. Yep.
Right. Rainwater, Tremper. Right. There they are.
All right. So user error, obviously.
Yeah. So what you'll have to do. So there's 2 things. You can go to your profile and turn on your onboarding again. I don't know what happened to the screen, Zach. There we go. You can turn on your onboarding again, and it does a step-by-step, right, to kind of show you what you kind of should have done when you logged in. And then there's also a tour, and the tour also goes to that page and shows you the ones you should turn on. So if you reset those 2 things, it'll show you again. So what you should do is you should go back to every one of your leopard geckos, first you want to go to your animal settings. You're going to turn on the leopard gecko in animal settings. Then you're going to go back to each animal and change the species from your old leopard gecko to the default leopard gecko one. Once you do that, you can go back and remove your custom animal or your custom species, and then because you've already set them all to the new species, then your genetics will show up properly for each one.
All right, and you have like African fat tails, all the genetics for all the same stuff on Morph Market.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how the African fat tail is. I don't believe somebody asked me for that, and I actually promised to put them in. So we need to get the AFTs.
Get your pen out.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to put AFT, and I'm going to try and get that done by the end of the week. Get those put in.
Yeah, we don't have all of the animal categories that Morph Market has. You know, because like just under king snake, they have like 15 different categories for subcategories of king snakes.
So
I'm going to enter all of those in for animal types at some point in time, or Robert?
We could technically. So I have a database of every reptile species.
Yeah.
And I'm just hesitant to mess with it at all, just because it will bloat the system even more. Yeah. Right? There's so many, you have no idea. So to try and get everything in is tough. I would love to, have somebody, if somebody wants to volunteer to help us with our genetics tables and species, if that's a task that you feel like you want to do, we would be happy, right, to have somebody volunteer and get those updated.
This here is great also.
I was going to say one more thing. So do you have like Do you have bull snakes in there? Like I only have 5 bull snakes, and I haven't entered them in there yet. But do you have all the genetics for bull snakes, pine snakes?
Bull snakes are in there.
I believe bulls are in,
Yeah.
right? I don't believe pines are in.
All right.
Right. But if they're not in, here's the thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you're not in a rush, just send us off a note and say, can we get this species in? And if you can go one step further and say, this is the species, this is the scientific name, these are the genes, and whether they're recessive, incomplete, dominant, or whatever, or line, if you can give us just a spreadsheet, we can actually probably do that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, basically
it's the research that is the long part.
Yeah.
If you look up the animal types that we currently have in the group, like under snakes, lizards, and stuff like that, the animal types that we have, their genetics table should be current with what Morph Market has.
All right.
But there are instances for certain species where Morph Market doesn't have all of the stuff available. We have worked with experts in the field in the past. Like I know personally, I worked with someone who does bloods, and they updated a bunch for the blood pythons of all their specifics that even Morph Market didn't have. And once, we verified that they were, knew their information was correct and everything, we were able to go in and add that all to our database so it's available for everyone when they look for bloods. And we can do that with other species too. We just have to have experts in the species. Usually it's going to be one of our partners, or one of our partners sends to us as an expert that we can verify, and we won't add it to the back-end database for just anyone who puts in a ticket. So don't start putting in a ticket for every single little genetic or custom genetic that people would like. But if there's somebody who's an expert in the field on like a rare species or something that we don't have, we will gladly update our table.
All right.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah.
I'll talk with Jason also, because this is something, because I'm getting into the super dwarf world. It'd be great to do the calculations. And the reason is say I have a 100% Kalatoa and I breed it to a 50%. All the offspring will be 75%. And then if I breed a 75% to 100%, then all the offspring will be 87.5%.
Right.
Quite easy.
Right.
If it could do something like automatic, would be awesome.
It's not genetics. So really what you could do is use the line traits for that. But yeah, it doesn't do the percentages. I would have to figure out how.
Okay.
I understand how it works. Yes.
Yeah.
Programmatically, I have to figure out how it's done.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do instead of, because then you're doing like an 87.5 to a 81.25, and you're like, what the?
I know. But the problem we're getting into then is once you get into 3 and 4 different locales, right? Do people, is it just a two locale kind of thing? Is it a 3 locale kind of thing?
Yeah.
Right. Are we going to have, 61.73% eventually? You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to get insane. And that's just something that I need to wrap my head around first to see if it's something we want to even try and figure out.
Okay.
Right, is kind of the way it is. So yeah, so if somebody knows their stuff on that like really well, I'll have a conversation for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, because you run into it, you're running into it not just at the retics too. A lot of the green tree people do stuff like that, and even some of the carpet stuff. Like my diamonds and stuff. People are wanting to keep up with percentages about crossings and stuff like that.
Right.
No, it'd be a great tool if we could make it work and have it so that it's done in not human error or trying to figure stuff out, and because it can get overwhelming.
Yeah, I would just see, the thing is genetics are built on a Punnett square, so that's super easy, right? Punnett square, away you go, and this is the result. That's all there is to it. Charlie would probably tell me I'm wrong on that, but it's the most straightforward way to do things. Once we get into percentages, then who knows? Once we start adding more than 2 and that kind of thing, so. Because that also can't flow outside of somebody's account, right? Like, you can send that information, but it's not something that we can then bring in and start calculating again on somebody else's account, as far as I know. So I'd really have to think about that and probably drink a little while I do so.
It's a good one though.
Yeah, it is. It is. Rodent part of new HP excites me. Yes. Does for me too. Trying to add a little bit for everything. Any other questions, comments?
I've got 2. One, I've noticed with my notifications for pairings, sometimes my notifications for the pairing will pop up, and it's like it's feed day, and they were supposed to be paired or they're in shed.
Right.
After that day goes past, that notification's gone. Is there a way to keep that notification up there until you get to it to manually remove it then?
So I think originally it may have been that way. And then people were saying, you know what, it just kept every friggin' day. I would just add more notifications to it, right? So then you'd have your pairing notification today, and then tomorrow, and then you add on the 2 more or 3 more, and it just got. So I think we removed it at that point. Isn't it still on your calendar from 2 days ago though? Just not.
It might. In all honesty, I don't really even look at the calendar.
Right. So
I think most people are probably just checking their notifications in the top. You know, it pops up and it's like, oh, this is what I got for today.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's gone. And it makes sense to me that it kind of should be gone, but you want to manually clear that. You want it there because then you're clearing some and you're not clearing other ones.
Clearing the ones you did, not clearing the ones you did. I mean, I think about it kind of like Facebook notifications, you know, like when I get Facebook notifications, I pull it up, there's 17 on there. Well, I see these, I don't have time to mess with that because this guy commented, that guy did that, but I want to blow through these real quick. So I'll knock those out. And then later on, when I have time, I come back to it and I see the notifications that still haven't been left. So, I mean, I feel like it's valid.
So I will think about that as we're working on the new platform. Because we're actually working on a lot of logging things too, right? So a lot of the times when, you know, oh shit, did I remember to do whatever, right? Or what did I do, you know, last Tuesday to screw something up? You'll be able to go back and see logs where it shows, you know, I deleted this or I did this or I posted this and that kind of thing. So we're adding more of that kind of stuff. So I think we can probably handle it within that process, having kind of a master list of stuff that's happened, and you can go through that and browse through that or search that. So I'll think on it that way. Or maybe even give it option where you got to hit clear, right? So it's all.
Even if you give them one of your little option bars to have it to where you can manually do it or what, however. Yeah, I'm not tech savvy.
There's also some for me. There's also a little bit of me in the next version that is saying we're going to give people a few less choices too, right? Just because there's so many choices, right? Yes. So we're trying to. I'm leaving out a couple things as we move it over, until I get a complaint, right? That oh shit, you removed that. I'm not going to use your system without it, right? So there's a little bit of that just because we're trying to condense. We're trying to make things simpler. Everything's on page. You know, that's kind of what we're trying to do. And with so many features, like, you know, I know people like reorganizing their tables and stuff. Kind of instead of that, we're kind of thinking of multiple different views instead, right? The easier views, things like that. So it'll be a little bit of feedback too as time goes on. And again, as we build the new platform, you know, we'll be done moving a lot of it over after 3 months. In 6 months, everything should be actually forget about dates. Later, everything should be moved over. But it also gives us, we now have a roadmap of years worth of development for us, right? That we can really sit back and really sink our teeth into. You know, whenever we were looking at doing things with current Husbandry.Pro, we have limitations, right? That aren't present in the new one. So instead of developing on that and spending all that time, we're going to be so much faster on the new platform too. So features and things like that should be much easier for us to roll out, even though I think we're pretty fast and good at it too. We're just going to be so much more so on the next platform.
With the notification system, wouldn't it just be a very simple process of just adding persistent notification or non-persistent as far as when you're setting it up?
They have
the notifications for each of the when you're setting it up originally for like the breeding, just having that tiny little persistent to where it just keeps it there.
Where's there
until
though,
you actually
right now they're in 3 different locations, right? So it's kind of like, you know, I think if we put one place where you can go back and look, right? Or there's some that you have not actually cleared yet, right? From your maybe tasks, maybe things like that. So I'll think about just how to manage it. I understand what you're saying, again, more options that are hidden. And that's the other thing too. How many times have you been told, hey, that feature's there? Well, you had no clue because there's so many different features and options and things like that. So a lot of the times in the new version, we're going to just make people do it this way because Microsoft doesn't give you a choice all the time on how to do things, right? We
Apple
do.
definitely doesn't give you a choice.
Right, exactly. So, we do stuff, we have to get a little bit more of this is the way we want you to do it, just so there's a little less of oh crap, we have to build it to do it all these different ways, right? So there's a little bit of that too. So yeah, we'll figure out something that way. But adding pages is easy for us too, right? So it'll be easy to add an element instead of, because it won't affect the whole platform like it would before.
Would there be a way to take, like, just for example, the breeding notifications or the pairings like we're talking about, somehow to have just that one copy somehow over to your to-do list that you can check off?
Right.
So, like,
that's why I thought, yeah.
Instead of it just coming up on notifications, it actually puts it on your to-do list. That way it is persistently there.
Right. Until you check it off. Right. And that's kind of what the to-do is for, right? Right. Notifications are notify you once, you do with it what you want to do with it. To-dos are, hey, you got to do this until you change its status. Correct. Right? One or the other. So that's why I'm kind of thinking it's kind of two different things. But right. I'll figure something out for sure.
I do like the to-do thing because, like, right now, like, I don't use the to-do thing. It's there, correct, but I have to go in and manually put in a to-do thing. And if it just popped over there, like, oh, hey, these are where they go to the to-do list, and there's some.
Well, and that's the other thing too, that, when we were chatting today, Zach, is that we're really working hard to make it so when you're looking at a page, right, to do something, to add a reminder or something, now you're going to a couple of different pages sometimes, or when you print something, how many pages do you go through before you get your print? And then where do you end up when you're there, right? You're going back, and you're not necessarily going back to where you were, right? So those are the things that when you're on a page, our things are going to overlay that page. And when you're done using that extra thing, it's gone. Your other page is still there. So if you're on an animal and you want to edit that animal, a pop-up will pop, you'll edit, and then it will go back and it'll be changed on your screen. So there's none of these go over here, hit save, loop back, reload the page, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is done. When you go to print something, it'll be go through the print process, close, and then you're back at where you started the initial process from, right?
Oh, so there's not going to be refreshing.
There's no refreshing. Exactly. There's no refreshing. It's all, here's what you do. Yeah. When you're on your animal page, you click a button to edit field, you edit the field, and you unclick the button to make it locked again. And that's it, right? There's no hit submit, watch the whole page do its reload thing, right? Everything happens in the back end, right? Awesome. And thus the speed is just so much faster. So much faster. So those are the kind of things that we're working on.
We have any new demos tonight of the new software?
We have no new demo. Next time I'll give you. You know what? Oh man. Okay, I'll give you one
just
thing.
So cool, man. Like we're all frothing at the bit. Like, oh my god, give us some more. Give us some more, Robert. Come on.
You know what? Actually,
come on, man. Give me some more next, man. I need some more next.
This week was not a very productive week for us because we actually were working hard on a couple of other things that we had to clean up from the old site. And we've also noticed as we're building, we do have to make some material changes to the database in the old platform that affect the new one. So there's some things that we're doing, but I think the lineage is done now. So as you build out the lineage, these things will pop up normally. I'm not sure if I'm going to make those smaller or not.
And we can add pictures to the parents as well in their little.
Yeah, you'll be able to add photos to these also. And when you print it, it will be on that sheet, right?
Awesome.
So same thing.
Nice. That was actually my other question, was about the lineage tree stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
So dude, I've been on him. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jeremy. We're here.
We're definitely, the lineage will all be there. So the lineage will be there either as animals within your system or as dummy records within the lineage chart for that animal. So you can add multiple levels all the way up as far as you want to go.
Oh yes, like now currently, the system wants to give you fits if that animal is not an animal you have in the system, and it wants me to go set up an animal for it to be able to just free type in like, oh hey, someone gave me this 8 generation pedigree. I want to be able to go in and fast type it and upload the pictures.
or you got some information from its grandparent that you've just been given. You want to add it to that animal. So yeah, and that was one of those things that, we go to the shows and I've got, dendrobates guys talking to me. You know what, this stuff is super important to me and this is what I need. I do frogs and this is, lineage. It's all about lineage. So we listen to that. We know that everybody could use it. So we're working hard on this. Awesome. So the lineage is one of those things that we've done, but I think the breeding plan is the one thing that we got the most work done on. So this page will no longer be here. I think in the old system, it was a page like this, and then you went in to your breeding plan. Breeding plans now will be selectable by a button here and a drop down. And then you can flag multiple plans up here in tabs like we did with the racks. So you could have, your ball python plan or your special plan. You can do multiple plans. But one of the things, we're just finishing up this. You'll be able to drag animals around here. You'll be able to drag this whole male, and it will go with all its females in order. So you'll be able to set the orders on those things.
Make sure to give us a lock button, because when we scroll through those on our phone, we're going to
exactly. It's the same as the rack view, so it'll be the same.
Now, does this use will this be using the generative PDF creation tools to be able to actually do a print?
Yes.
When it comes to that versus the older system, how it generates it, because I went out and printed another copy of my breeding plan, and it still doesn't show the proper name information. It only gives me the ID numbers for all of my males.
Okay, so just that would be just just let me know what that is. Okay, just send me an email on that, and I'll have a look at that.
Okay.
Not entirely sure what that is. But again, light and dark. I always develop in dark. I don't know how many people use light, but I just
I love dark.
Yeah, that's just, but it will be, actually my developers actually use light. I use dark. My lead Vidal uses, light. So we kind of get both ways on this. But
can you hit the not in plan?
It doesn't work yet.
Okay, so, I just wanted to see, because that to me I use. It's like my lifesaver.
Right, exactly. So animal list. So there's the animal list table. It's not the. Oh, this is like the square one that we've got now. Well, what's that one called? Condensed view, I think, or designer view?
Designer.
Like that. Right, designer view. What's that?
Designer's bigger, I thought. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I think designer.
I think that's grid.
Condensed view is kind of similar to what you have up there, Robert.
Right. Okay, so that would be right. So that
it is grid. It literally said it at the top of the page. That's the grid.
Yeah.
View.
Right. That's the grid. Well, I don't know if that's what. Hang on.
No, but that looks like the grid view. The designer one is wider. That's
the condensed.
Right. Design view.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The bigger one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is more what I was thinking it was like. Right.
Yeah, I like
grid
that.
is more. The grid is more that way.
Toidles.
Right. The grid is more square that way. So, but anyway, so this is one of the views. So again, we're also going to have a view that we just set up, like the breeding plan view. So we're going to have another view where it's just this section here. So like this, and each animal will be that way in a list, right? Bigger and chunkier. So on an iPhone, it'll shrink down, and it should be kind of panels.
I really like the pictures and stuff. It's really clean, and I like I really love the clown and the hat.
Right.
So,
oh yeah, where we put the head on there.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's going to flow through to everything, right?
Yep.
Can we? Are we going to be able to just click whenever we're in the animal view, right? And we're looking at that stuff with the picture on it. Or are we going to be able to just like click on the picture or drag and drop on the picture to upload pics?
So let me do that, and let me look at. So here, right? So there is a photo. The photo gallery will be right there, right? Where you'll be able to manage all the photos for the animal.
And you can add one right here from this page?
Yeah, you'll be able to hit it. There's going to be a plus button right here. You'll just hit plus, and then you'll be able to, any of these, you'll be able to edit. You'll also be able to set which one's primary from here, and it'll show up here. So that'll all be, and this will be a drop zone, so you can do multiple photos, right? You can drag, 5 photos and drop them there, and they'll all go in. Is that what you're looking for, Zach?
Yes,
Okay,
sir. So so I can drop in the 15 pictures I took of that one animal.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Hey, for my store listing, if I'm paying all that, freaking like the people come look at my store and all the pictures, I want every angle. What do you need a picture of? It's there. I swear to you, it's there.
This is amazing. That guy really.
I think this was all done before too, but yeah, you'll be able to hit here. You'll be hit edit, and then you'll be able to start selecting. What.
I love that you can do it just from the animal,
right?
Instead of having now I got to go to the commerce, I got to go here. If you can do everything just from one, this is amazing. It's going to save a lot more time than we're already saving.
Well, and that's the thing,
so fast.
Really, really hoping central is everything, but really, like, here's the animal list table, right? Oops. Isn't that
there you go?
Yeah, exactly. I broke it already. Animal list live, that one there. That's how long it takes to load 140 animals, right?
Oh, yeah,
so that's
instant.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can. I don't know how many animals you guys have, but 100. I've never loaded 140 animals at that speed, right? It's instant. So I even loaded up Billy's, which were, I think you
showed me that
thousands. Yeah, and it's like, bam. I think it took 3 seconds or 2 seconds.
As fast as that when you did it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way it comes up is amazing. So, yeah, we're really excited. The more we stress test, and that's the thing. A lot of this too is, hey, let's build it. Now let's try it with Billy's account, right? And see and really see, what it is. And you know what, Billy? How many? I think I asked you how long does it take, and I think you said like 8-10 seconds to load thousands of animals. It takes some time, but now it's 2 seconds on the new platform.
Here's something that it would work for me also. So would it be possible to get deeper feeding logic, such as setting intervals based on either animal or feeder size? For example, a ball python over 500 grams switches from 1 week to 2 weeks, or small rat in 14 days. And for me, if I have like thousands of animals and I have them all at say weaned rats,
right?
As soon as they go to a certain size, now they go to small rats. Well, now I got to go in and change all those animals, and then all of a sudden when they get to say 1,100 grams, now they're on medium.
Sure.
Now I got to go in and
Let me like something where I think this would work would be like where we set the animal size, because we do already have a setting where you can set the size of the animal, I believe, right? So like if they're this big, the system considers them a baby, a juvenile. This big, it considers them this.
So we already have that logic in for animal age or animal when you make a juvenile.
It's called because I set them to hatch.
We have a setting there, right? We have a setting there already that once it reaches a certain age, it changes your whether it's maturity, I think it's called.
Maturity,
so it changes the maturity based on the age, right? So we have that logic there. Somebody just needs to write that down for us. We can just do the exact same thing. You can set up a feeder size system. It's not a problem to do. It's not going to happen anytime soon, right? Yeah, it'll be. We can look at that to put into the new platform, but I'm not even going to put that on my radar right now because I don't think it's something that. I think that would slow us down in development. So we're not adding anything new to next Husbandry.Pro until we finish getting all the stuff that we need over. Then
so Jason, you and I are going to have to send him, we'll do November. We'll say November. We'll start putting that into the ticket.
How about you tell me about it in Tinley?
Oh, October.
Billy's not coming. You can come with me. I know. That'll get him to shut
Jason
up.
Jason can go.
Yes, that's true.
Hey,
but
anybody else? I can harass the shit out of Robert for doing. Awesome.
Yeah, I can get a lot of people saying, "Hey, go to Robert and say this." Okay, go to Robert and say this.
How easy is it to get a hold of me ever, Billy? I always have my phone off. You know that.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a hold of me.
All right, so speaking
we're at the show and he's all like, "Hey, grab me that card. It's my card." He's giving him.
The custom genetics list that you guys have enabled now is awesome. So you can now exclude genetics that you're not working with for your animals. You can go unselect them, so you don't have to sort through 210 hypo anymore.
Oh yeah,
here for the first 10 minutes of the show.
That's what I was saying. So that's actually active now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's active.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm doing after this show.
I'm gonna get rid of all those
First
other
thing I'm doing is
bandits.
taking off that fucking 210 hypo. That fucking drives me like, what the hell is 210 hypo?
That always,
if you double it and it's 420 hypo, it makes a little more sense.
Then it's cool
what
hypo.
The fuck's a 210 hypo? 420 hypo is like, I don't know, green hypo, like weird hypo, 420, but 210 doesn't make any sense at all.
See, 210's halfway to 420, Billy.
There you go.
Yeah,
but why only halfway? I mean, if you're only halfway to 420, you're doing something wrong, You need to call fucking Austin.
Hey, if you're only halfway to 420, then you're still working.
Yeah. 3 o'clock for me.
Jesus.
So what I'm hearing is anytime you find a new morph that you get to name, you got to put numbers in front of it just to make Billy happy.
Yes. Get it on the top of his list so he gets pissed off.
I like Jason's response here. 210 is het 420.
Jesus.
Okay, does anybody have anything else before we wrap this up?
Did you have another one, Jeremy?
Uh-oh. Jeremy had another one?
No, the lineage chart was the other thing that I had.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Okay. Anything else? Any questions that weren't posted yet in the audience? There isn't a huge.
I think we're good.
Anyway, we're good.
Yeah,
one that somebody asked at the show, Robert, and I don't know how we would do this, but it was for geckos and stuff, and they wanted to know if there was a way to update photos. If, like, say they sell a gecko now, and then 2 years from now, somebody sends them the updated picture and says, "This is what it looks like as an adult." So if they want to go back in and update those pictures, or if they want that person to be able to update those pictures so they can say, "Hey, I produced more from this one. Here's its sibling that is already an adult. You know what it looks like." Mm-hmm. That was something that came up at the show.
They can, instead of archiving their animal, they could mark it as gone. Make their own custom, mark it as gone, not archive it, and then they can still interact with it and put photos in it. Right, it's all about. It would
still add to your number count.
Yeah, it does. But if you want to do that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you're maintaining it, so you should.
Right. Yeah. If you're paying for it, you're fine. Zach shaking his head.
With the archiving, though,
we added the ability to unarchive your animals.
Who did that? Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
I was just gonna say, why make archiving permanent?
because people
are shiesty.
Yes. Thank you, Kevin. People will take animals and put them out and then put them back in and put them out and put them back in to get around your numbers.
That's a lot of effort for the $8 a month or whatever.
Yeah, but if you have 8 animals,
I'll have 8
animals. Yeah, so if you have 8 animals and you have to go inactivate and activate 3 animals,
not a big deal.
5 days when you do something.
I would
just spend the $4 a month and not have to activate and inactivate those things.
It's all about you know what? In the years that we have had archiving of animals, it's been that way since the beginning. We've had to unarchive maybe half a dozen times or a dozen times, and we have a switch in admin to go bam, right? So if you want it unarchived, open a ticket and we'll click bam. Right? If somebody loses something, really, like if they did it by mistake, we're going to allow them to switch it back. But
yeah, I'll have to double check. I do believe we talked about it. It was like 6 months ago when we said it locks out, like it'll let you unarchive it, but it won't let you do it again for like 30 days.
Yeah, I don't even remember being part of that conversation because I've been a hard no on that one from day one.
No, it makes sense,
right? It's the integrity of the platform, right? So it won't be in the new one. How about that? So enjoy it now if you're using it. Anything else, anybody?
Wait, what won't be in the new one?
The unarchiving. Right? It would. I'm not sure why it's there if it is, but we'll figure it out.
Can you delete an archive?
You can delete can you delete an archived animal?
I don't think so. No, because you have no access to it.
Yeah. Well, you have access to it. You can view it.
You view it. I don't think you can delete it.
No, so you cannot. I just tried it, Robert. You cannot unarchive an animal.
Oh, you can't unarchive an animal.
No, I just tried it. It's a big warning letters come up says you can't update this animal.
Can you delete an archived animal?
No. I
don't think so.
Let's see.
So we could add that. That's not a.
I don't actually want to click it, so I don't know.
Is there a thing saying delete?
Yeah, it pops up and it says, "Are you sure you want to delete this?"
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to delete my archive.
I've actually deleted an archive, Dan, because I did a test on that a while back. You can delete an archived animal, but I didn't know about the purpose behind or the methodology behind the archiving. So that makes sense with what you were saying, though, Robert.
Right, because you can still use it.
I don't understand the active versus inactive, because it's like if inactive doesn't count towards your count, you can just mark it inactive and mark it active.
Inactive does mark it towards your account. Yes. If your animal is inactive, it is still, you can still do whatever you want to it. You can make it active again. You can, whatever.
So,
right?
so I found one that I could junk. Yes, you can delete an archived animal.
Okay, there we go.
And it fully deletes it.
Right.
That must have been a change, because about a year and a half ago, I had one that I had archived that was one that we'd lost due to old age. I went to try and delete it out, and it wouldn't let me.
Right. Yeah. Deleting makes sense. Unarchiving doesn't, but yeah, deleting makes sense.
Although I don't know why you want to delete them if you can just archive it. But
you share your future backlog. We do a change log, so anytime there is a change, we post it in the change log. Our kind of rule is if a user will notice, we'll post it in the change log. So if it's a bug or if it's a feature or anything like that, so somebody would notice, or if they placed a ticket on it, we try to get it on the change log. So we do that. We don't do a roadmap because at the end of the day, you can ask Zach, because he gets a little angry with me when I'm going this way and then I go that way. Right. I'm not always consistent in the path because there's sometimes some other things that come up.
Priority.
Exactly. I work on priority.
And I may be reading that differently. I read it more like, can you put in a ticket for suggested changes and stuff? And we don't really look at tickets for that. We're going to direct them to the suggestion board or the Facebook group. Right.
So suggestion board, you can always make a post there. We go over that when we have time. And people can comment on it. And actually, if you see stuff on the suggestion that you think is a good suggestion, if you comment on it, it actually shows us more people that are commenting or liking or thumbs upping it. It will go up higher on our list internally on, which features people would like to see. Right.
So the feeding intervals.
Yeah. So yeah, Billy's he's gonna be on his Patreon. I want everybody right now to go over to the suggestion and do the thumbs up.
Me and Jason aren't going to fuck around.
He's going to talk about it on his Monday call.
Billy just became my worst nightmare.
Yeah, thumb up.
Scan the screen for the QR code to update your thumbs up.
Thanks. Oh. Okay. Anybody have anything else? No. Awesome.
Hey,
okay. Appreciate you all. Good job, Zach.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Awesome.
I can't like from stream.
Hey, good to meet you all.
You too, sir. Nice. Welcome aboard.
60, baby.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I love the program. It's come a long way in the last year since I started using it. A lot of the bugs have worked out. It's more of a pleasure to use. It's more seamless, even to make your labels. Got some labels right here. So much easier to use the label making machine. We're able to get the QR codes on, our logo on there. I mean, it really, really is working out. And I believe strongly in this program. I would like to see the industry adapt it, because I feel like I've been in the leopard gecko world, and I feel as anal as they are with genetics, that this is going to take over the leopard gecko industry. It has to.
I would love to see, we don't have a lot of inroads into leopard geckos and things like that. And I would love to see more of it. And, I've had conversations with people and somebody I respected very much, Tom Harbin, was, he and I had great length. He said this needs to be an industry standard. Right. And it's one of those things that, I listen to that and I hear that and I say, you know what, that's kind of what we would like to work towards. Right. Because it really does up everybody's game. Right. That's what the software is about. It makes you accountable. It makes the sellers accountable.
So, Robert,
I was going to say, this is the first year I was able to really get the QR codes because I didn't understand the public view of the QR codes last year.
Right.
And you don't understand when somebody scanned my animal and popped up the pictures of the parents, like everybody around me it was like, I felt like the biggest reptile nerd ever, man. You know, like I say this should be QuickBooks for reptile nerds, you know, like in I'm in the scrap business and we have QuickBooks and we have to use it for all our accounting and everything. This needs to be the reptile QuickBooks because and that's what I said. I was trying to sell it to some people and they're like, are you getting a kickback for this? I said, you know, it's not about that. Like I help anybody who asks me. I don't have a Patreon. I've never turned down a question. I've been in the industry now. Like I've been going to Daytona since it was in Orlando, but I got back in 2016. I went hard, you know, and I've been in ever since. I've never turned down a question, but I'm going to push this because I believe this will better everybody's life. Like I really believe in Husbandry.Pro. Huge.
Yeah, I don't know how I've done it before. Like, even managing thousands of animals. Like
I'm kind of out of leopard geckos. Like I still breed leopard geckos here and there, but you don't know how many papers I've lost and notebooks with genetics and this and that. Like it's never going to happen to me again. I mean, I wish I had it 8 years ago because then, I mean, I would be so much better and I'd be so much more advanced. I'm sure of it.
Right. I like it. I mean, I'm deaf and communicating with people when I'm at a show, I use the QR codes on all of the animals it's right there. They can go through and scan it. I even use the NFC now because I actually have the NFCs right on all of my displays and update it every time when I'm going there with the new animals. So people, it gives so much information to people that's right there for them.
I love the interaction, and especially when people want a question on an animal. When did it last eat? What are the parents? You know, it's right there. You don't have to memorize everything or. It's right there, and they're blown away.
Cool when I'm like, do you have your phone with you? Just tap it right here. And they see it just pop up. They're like, holy. Yeah, they're like, holy crap.
It is. It's the next level of professionalism. It really is.
You should consider making the QR codes public as a default and have it that you can turn them off instead. Because I feel like a lot of people miss it. And if you're printing the QR codes to go to a show, you want it to be public.
Because I've had so many people that it's like, hey, Billy, I'm doing a show, and I've spent a lot of maybe 20 minutes here, 10 minutes here. I've done it where, hey, you got to go in here, you got to turn this on, then do this, and then do that, and then cool. But yeah, Kevin's right. If you have it, I think more people it benefits to have it on.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want it, you can go manually turn it off.
I feel like it's got to be pretty rare that somebody doesn't want their QR code scannable and allows people to actually get to the QR codes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It really depends on who's using it. If it's somebody like us that's a breeder that goes to shows and everything.
If you're using it in private, then you've got them in
I
your
have one of my
room.
friends who hates the concept that it goes out to the public.
No, but you've got it in your snake room. Who's going to actually go in there and scan it?
And if you trust them enough to be in your snake room,
then they can scan it. Exactly.
It's a good point.
Oh, you're not wrong, but there's some people that I know that just
and for those people, we could just have it tell them to turn it off, right?
Yeah, and they shouldn't be printing out their QR codes if they don't want anybody else to see their QR codes.
There you go. That's the smartest answer right there. Don't print out fucking QR codes.
But the one thing I'll say is, like, if you default turn it on, well, there's a lot of settings that go along with that because you can control everything that you let them to see. So you have to walk them through almost like what they want to turn on, or what do you just turn it on, but nothing shows up unless they go in and set it up.
In the new platform, the profile page will be everything. So you'll have your profile of you, and then you will have your profile of your store. And in the profile of the store, all the settings for everything that related will be on that page. So it will be there. So if you're turning on your store or doing anything like that, that setting will be there, and we'll default it on, right? If you turn your store on, it'll be on. That's it. If you don't turn your store on, it's not going to be on.
And more often than not, Zach, if they're printing the the QR codes that they potentially want them to be public, you have to reprint them. Right.
Wait, the QRs are linked for the public view to the store.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so someone who has like the free account, they don't even have a storefront capability, do they?
Correct.
So
you're at the breeder level. You're at the breeder level to have that. Did you have a question?
Right.
Alicia?
Okay. So the public won't even show if it's under the breeder level.
Correct. And yeah, and it makes sense. You know, the only time your QR is going to be in a public place would be like at Billy's place. If people are coming in all the time, that's the only place that I would see a bit of an issue. If you've got a bigger facility and you don't necessarily want somebody scanning to find out what's in your secret rack over there that they happen to be able to walk in front of, but you still don't want them having all the information.
It's so weird because if you're going to invite someone into you, like I have an open bin policy. Do it. I love when people, hey, what was this made? What was fucking scan it? Don't ask me. I ain't looking shit up. I got too many. I love hosting. The last thing I want to do is start answering fucking questions for 400 people. Scan that shit, people. You know what I mean?
So, okay, but from day one, you know, for me, I'm a privacy guy, right? So that's
but you don't have people over.
But no. I mean, I'm a privacy guy when it comes to the software, right?
Oh, okay.
So I want to make sure that you're opting in to everything, right? You're not.
But I think for this, because it's so, I think like Kevin said, to have it on. Hey, guess what? I think the majority of people are going to use it, and say 20% don't. You turn it off, and this is how you do it.
But you need to set up your store first, so it'll be on the store page. Once you set up your store, it will be on by default.
So you don't need to set up your store, because if you scan the QR, and your store wasn't set up, and then you turn it on, then it'll still take you to the store, right?
You have to reprint your QRs.
If you've already got it turned on to public?
If you've got it turned on public, you print your QRs, you can scan it.
But even if you don't have your store set up, it won't show you anything on your store page when you scan it, right?
I believe not.
So it's a bigger issue to go back and reprint the labels to make them viewable than to have a store turned on, right? Because you can
more of an issue of initial setup for your account. When you log into the new system, this is going to be one of those things that needs to be part of the setup process, where we kind of hold your hand and we take you through here. Do you want your settings to be public, and what would you like to turn on? I think it should just be an extra step of our intro or our demo.
I mean, in all honesty, when it comes to the QR, why change the actual QR value? The QR value for each generated animal should never change.
No. So
the QR linked behind it.
It changes because if the QR is built in two different ways, either one with just a code that is only recognizable by the app. So that's a security feature. So if you try to scan, if I'm logged into my app and I went and scanned somebody else's normal QR code, it would kick me out of my app. So it wouldn't show anything about that animal, right? So it's a security feature. If I scanned it otherwise outside of the app and it was an enhanced QR code, it actually has a URL built into it too. We just kick that URL out if you're scanning it with your app and you're logged in, right? So there are checks and balances, and I get what you guys are saying. We can make it on by default. However, it needs to be part of the store setup process, because it doesn't work without your store setup anyway.
Yeah. So you have two settings right now, Robert. You have the QR code externally scannable or whatever, and then also view public pages.
Right,
so you can leave the view public pages toggleable. But
one of those is always, yes, you can always toggle it off. But the thing is, don't forget too, the QR is complex when it is the enhanced QR code and isn't read as well by phones when it's simpler, right? So the QR scanners actually work better on simple QR codes than they work on the full ones, but I still don't think there's much of an issue there. I've never heard anybody complain about our scanning.
So can I ask, like, what bad can happen to your account by the QR code being public? Like, I feel like
if I don't want somebody to know what I have, and I'm in Jeremy's room, and now I can zoom in on his QR code that he's got on the back of his bin there, and I can scan that code and find out what he's got in the third bin down that is his super secret project.
I mean, you're letting somebody in your room you don't trust, if that's the case.
Let's
You know,
just-
like why are they even in your room?
In this room right now.
I'm not in
You know,
Jeremy's room.
I'm just asking because I feel like it seems like a public and a private thing. Like I feel like I would always want it public because the only time I'll have them in my room. I don't let anybody in my room I don't trust. And also, if I'm at a show, of course I want them public. So to me, I feel like I always want them public because I'm not going to let some shady motherfucker in my room to scan my shit anyways.
Okay, but we have a perfect example here right on the screen where we're not in somebody's room and we could scan their QR codes if we wanted to.
Oh,
right?
Like
so
from
anybody going,
here?
yeah,
from
like
a
Jeremy,
screenshot.
if Jeremy's got QR codes on his bins behind him right now, right? I could scan his bins and find out what's in there.
That's a good point. I mean, I guess over like if you're doing a YouTube and you have stuff you don't want.
So for me,
for
me, I'm a computer guy first, right?
Yeah.
Right. You know, I've been in the hobby for 40 years. However, I have to look at this from a computer thing first, right? What kind of security? What are we going to do? Because I don't know that 20,000 users, I need to always say, right? Is everybody okay with this? It's a security thing, probably not. So let's err on the side of caution, right? Let's err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Right. Just like when we made all your animals public view, right? So what we did was right now, if you have an animal for sale, before we would need you to turn it on to say you could see it publicly anytime, so that if we push it to another site, or if we make it available via API or something, just because you have that animal for sale, to me, does not mean it's public information. So what we had to do was we had a pop-up for everybody that was previously in the software that said, going forward, you want all your animals publicly viewed if it's for sale. So in other words, we can show that information if it's for sale. You had to say yes or no. So if you said yes, then going forward, every time you put an animal for sale, when Billy puts one for sale, it's on his site automatically. When he has his WordPress site done, it will push to his WordPress site automatically. So it goes outside of our platform. We, in my mind, need explicit permission to show your animals outside of your app in any fashion, right? And that's kind of my brain with how that works, right? And to me, it makes sense. And I think, from a computer standpoint, that's kind of how we look at it, right?
Yeah, that's just one you're gonna have to click something that says yes.
Well, so you do have the two options right now. One,
right,
the public QR, and then two, the public pages.
Right. And right now they're both defaulted off.
Yeah.
Right? So we could do the QR, we could do the other one, but I don't know which way.
If you do the QRs on by default, then when somebody goes through and sets up all their animals and they print out 50 labels,
I understand.
They don't.
The problem
have
is
to make them
we still have one's more readable than the other.
Right? Agreed. That's
which QR code is better? If you're never displaying your animals publicly, the best QR code to use is the simple QR code. Right? So there we are. Right? It works better with the JavaScript scanners that are built into the app.
I'll give you, it works 2% better.
Bob's your uncle. Does anybody have anything else? We're at an hour. I know we're past Robert's bedtime.
Way past.
An hour and 45 minutes.
Way past.
The longest podcast.
King Reptiles does have a good question. They just need to go into their general settings and go down underneath that URL where it toggles on and off, and they should be able to turn their photos on. That's not a new feature, but it's a newer feature. So if their sire and dam are listed, then just go click the photos on. But that's under the general settings down like midway where all this URL stuff is located.
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, there's a bunch of junk on that page.
There's all kinds of good stuff in there.
Yeah, if you haven't spent time in the general settings page,
go do it.
Every time we didn't know where to put something,
just stick it
where
there.
it went. That won't be in the new version. So
awesome.
Good.
All right, we need to get out.
All right, guys.
So if you got more questions?
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
go
night.
down to the user group.
Pleasure again.
And we're gonna take it out with an outro.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Next month.
Thank you.